Hey, what's up guys? Today we're installing a temperature gauge in a Johnson 70 horse outboard. There's the engine cover if you need to see it. And most outboards don't come with temperature sensors. I've never seen one. The only one they come with is the horn in the control box. And this one's been overheating a lot and the buzzer goes on, but once the buzzer goes on, you've already overheated. So this will tell us, if we're creeping up on hot, if we're cooling down, it'll just kind of show us what's going on. So to do that, this gauge has a couple connections. Pretty simple. It's got the sender to the temperature sensor, which I'll show you in a second. It's got positive, negative. Now this is what you'd want to put the positive from your switch on your controls, so this gauge would only turn on when you turn the key on, so you don't run down your battery. These wires up here are kind of optional. They're for lights, so they light up this gauge at night. You'd connect those to your lighting switch for your nav lights. So I'll show you the important part is when you buy a gauge, make sure you get one of these. It's a temperature sender. It screws right in here. This Johnson had a blind threaded hole here that was the correct size. So what that means is it's a threaded hole that doesn't actually go into the water jacket. So it's not touching any water. There's nothing going to leak out if I pulled this out. So they must have set up the engine for this, so it made it really easy. Make sure when you buy these senders and these gauges kind of come together, because they need to be calibrated for the temperatures on the gauge. So try to buy a package, don't try to buy them separate. Anyway, so if you don't have a blind threaded hole like these evinrudes, Johnsons, anything OMC would probably have something similar. You want to mount it high up on the engine somewhere, and you could use, sometimes they come with a Z bracket, they call it, so it puts this sensor in contact with the head somewhere. So you could possibly do it. See that hole right there? You could possibly do it there. It's another blind hole. Just look around, and if you can't figure it out, have a mechanic do it for you. I wouldn't use a head bolt because they need to be torqued just right, and they probably need all their threads, but maybe I'd use a thermostat bolt. I don't know. But anyway, so that's pretty much the core of this whole project. This is the sender wire. This is the only wire that needs to come back to send the gauge the temperature of this temperature sensor. This is the temperature switch. This is what will tell you, will set off the horn when your outboard overheats. So it's an on and off switch. It's either closed or open, and closed is over 180 degrees, I believe, and that's overheating. So these are in the same positions, which is good. Anyway, so I'm going to route this wire along here, along my same engine wires, and up. This is the worst part of this, actually, is wire routing. So in a center console especially. So up to my dash, and that's pretty much it, guys. If you're handy with some crimpers, you could do this project. This gauge package on eBay cost me under $20 shipped. So yeah, look around. I recommend it if you ever had any overheating problems. Incidentally, I just had the mechanic move my telltale from here to, where is it at now? Follow the hose. He moved it to right on top here, because these Johnson 1670s from the early 90s had this chronic overheating problem. So I guess there was a service bulletin that came out in the early 90s that said there could be an air bubble trapped in the system. So this hose I'm looking at is the P hole, the telltale. So instead of coming out the lower part of this cooling manifold here, it comes out of the upper part, so no air can get trapped, so it'll escape through the tube. So anyway, I was having some overheating problems. So you can see how the paint's come off on this thermostat. Got pretty hot a few times. So anyway, we'll check her out, see if she works, and hope this helps you out putting in a temperature gauge and an outboard motor. Alright, here we have the installed temperature meter for the outboard, and I've wired it so flip the key, turn it on. See, the fuel gauge works the same way. And of course, the motor's not been run tonight, so it's not very high temperature, but you can see it move. See it move there, so we're good to go, and we'll see how hot it gets. But it'll be just a good indicator to set a baseline, and then if it goes above that baseline under normal conditions, we'll know there's a problem. That's the normal temperature right in the middle, 175. Cruising.